Greetings, Guardians, and welcome to the Voice of the Vanguard. Today I have with me Sully from Sully Games. Say hello, Sully.
Hello, Guardians.
And today we have some neat changes to armor, apparently, in the TWAB
Very
later
neat.
in the show.
Very
We'll be talking about... Wait, that's not the right list. Here's the right list. Crimson Days, Vault Space, and predictions for the next season.
And if you want to do the TWAB before predictions, since maybe do that and then do predictions after TWAB.
Okay, sure. So let's start. What have we been doing? Crimson Days.
Yeah.
Like, I'll skip right over that to go into Crimson Days.
Kane's been doing so much that he can't even talk about it right now in Destiny, so...
I helped out with some... I did a 5-man sundial. Legendary sundial.
Last night, right?
Yep, last night. I helped out the clan. It was actually not that bad. It was pretty easy.
Yeah. Everyone's a little bit higher level, too, so that helps. Man, I just been grinding out more Crucible still. Super close to the 1. I only need the 1 more Triumph, and I will have the Savior Seal, so that's lit.
It's the one that, like, everybody needs.
Yeah, so once we get that Fractal Line donation complete, I will be your savior. Other than that, man, that's pretty much it. I've been raiding a lot here in the past probably week. I don't know how many raids I did last week. I did a decent amount.
Yeah, we should be getting that. We should actually have the people for the raid race later tonight. Have them all signed up. We're going to be doing Aspire tonight. Try and help some people.
I'm in on that because I don't really know. I need to do Eater again, too.
Eater's so easy to do.
Just to kind of, like, remember all the mechanics. Because I've only done that once, and I've done Spire a few times, but I think I actually know Spire a lot more than Eater, so...
Yeah, I've been doing a bunch of Crimson Day stuff. Me and JD did some 2-man Nightfalls for Hollow Lair. I got
Lame.
I got myself one of those shotguns. I'm not good at shotguns, so I don't know. I had a pretty good roll on it. It was quick draw, slide shot, some rifling, and accurized rounds. So it's actually supposed to be pretty good. I was thinking of maybe pairing that up with I can't remember what it's called. Arteus Ward, the one where you slide and you get a shield.
Oh, yep.
So that would be pretty cool for the Crucible. Like, I could do a slide shot into someone that was shooting at me. That sounds like that would be pretty good.
Sounds a little OP, but okay.
I want to try that out. I wouldn't be very good at the far range for that. I have a fairly decent Sacred Providence now, so maybe I could pair it with that.
Yeah, Sacred is amazing
For some range.
Crucible.
Yeah.
So good. Crucible. I think, in my opinion, it's the best pulse rifle right now in Crucible.
I know you love it. It's a little baby.
It is. I don't feel like it's gonna get nerfed anytime soon because I've been killed by it by like maybe 10 other people, if that.
Yeah, I don't think rated weapons usually get nerfed all that much.
Well, I guess it'd be more of like the archetype for it, so I don't really see a lot of people using like the slow.
Have you been playing doubles?
I played a lot of doubles on Tuesday. Quam and I got literally wrecked, but we had a lot of connection issues with Quam. He actually got like disconnected from one of my games, and he was lagging a lot. And then Water teamed up with me for a few games, and we did really good one game, then we did really bad one game, then I think we did really bad back to back, and then we won another one, and then we lost, and I was like, all right, it was time for me to go to bed. And that's about it I've done for Crimson Days. I've only played Tuesday. I might play like later on, either tonight. I don't know if I want to swap back over like to Division after the raid, or if I want to play some Crucible, or if I just worry about that a little bit more
Mm-hmm.
weekend. But
Yeah, so I played a bunch of twos with Ninja, and we've only won one match together.
it's sweaty, man. It's
We've
sweaty.
we've played like maybe 10 matches together, and we've only won one. But I actually played some with the Mandrid, I think yesterday as well, and he put me onto this tip of using a bow and Jotun. And so me and him just ran around with bows and Jotun just destroying the enemy teams like game
Oh
after
my
game.
god.
It was pretty good. Yeah. Both of us wearing 1-9 masks, running around with Jotun.
Also being toxic.
We were so
Awesome.
toxic.
So proud of you, Kane.
Hey man, anything to get an edge up on this PvP.
You need it.
Yeah, we need it, man. So that was fun. I haven't played since then, but I feel like I can't play with Ninja anymore. Like his lobbies are just way too good for me. It's above my skill level.
Yeah, that's like I've kind of gone into like we've typically a lot of times we'll bring up like skill-based matchmaking. That's definitely like a hot topic, like the Destiny community, and I definitely have like that love-hate relationship for it because like skill-based matchmaking has definitely been really helpful for me because like I've definitely seen like my improvement in Crucible with mouse and keyboard. But yeah, when I match up with like get some of my clanmates who aren't typically as good in Crucible right now, like it just can be a bloodbath for them because of everything's brought up to my level. And I think the last time I checked, I'm like platinum 1 or platinum 2 in Control. So
You're nuts.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's not fun for some of my clanmates.
when we're playing
What's up, Roberts?
yeah, when we're playing PvP, Ninja always wants to play Control, and I'm like, let's try something else. Like maybe like change it up because I'm getting really sick of Control. Because like you get Control throughout the whole season, and then you also get Control basically during Iron Banner. It's pretty much the same game mode.
Hey, Iron Banner. Yeah, talking about that already.
Uh, we're not
Yeah.
there yet.
I mean, I kind of feel you on that. Like, I mean, I prefer Control still. I think it's like the best game mode.
I need some variety in my life. Like I was really enjoying one where you pick up the crests. I can't remember what that was. Supremacy. I was really enjoying Supremacy, and that was basically I think it's just because it was basically Clash with extra steps.
Yeah, it's kill confirmed if you've ever played COD.
Yeah, I've played that.
Yeah, Supremacy's okay, and we played that like a few times. But yeah, I'd still prefer I think Control. Clash is okay. Like if they would do like a weekly rotation between Control and Clash, I would be.
I don't know why they got
rid
of like I haven't seen Clash appear in forever.
Yeah.
And it's the game mode that everyone plays.
So, well, yeah, and it's just because you just literally go around and kill people. There's
TDM.
no objective.
Everyone loves TDM.
So, but they want to kind of have more like objective-based stuff, and I also understand that too. So.
Anyways, I don't know if you have anything else to say. Crimson Days is only here for a week, and it's not really a whole lot going on.
Not really. I mean, it's cool. I think is this the first time they've had PvE bounties?
Yeah, for Crimson Days.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, Crimson Days.
That they had, because not everybody likes to hop in and play Crucible, so
yeah.
I thought that was kind of cool, kind of neat. So you can kind of still enjoy Crimson Days PvE style edition. So that was a good move by Bungie. So and it allows you to get some of that fresh loot if you don't have it already. So I think that's probably my output for Crimson Days.
I'm gonna try and get the shell this season.
Shell?
Yeah, I need to play a bunch more duos. I think I have like 5 or 4 of the triumphs for that already. So
yeah,
I'm pretty close.
Might fuck around with that too.
I bet the shell's been no good. I bet it's like
Yeah.
Banshee's favorite and some other bullshit.
Yeah, going to JD's question in chat, or not question, but his thought was, yeah, D1 Crimson Days was a lot of fun, and especially trying to grind for, because back then a lot of the, we didn't have a lot of ghost shells. I think I even talked about this on last episode. I think it was the chocolate ghost shell,
The
man. Like it
sugary
had like a,
one,
yeah, it had like a 1% drop rate.
yeah. Yeah, I think you talked about that on here before.
Yeah, and they actually end up giving everyone because they're like, oh, there was actually a bug in our system that it wasn't actually dropping.
Oh, so it has guiding light,
So,
so at least it has that.
so
Uh, so next topic. I assume you put this in here because you're running out of vault space.
actually, yes and no. A lot of people, because a lot of times, like, I'll either scroll through like Reddit or like Twitter to kind of see like hot topics, and like I think might have been Monday or Tuesday, I don't remember. And a lot of people were just talking about vault space, and like some people are like saying like how they don't have any issue at all with vault space, and then some people are like, well, like my vault's filling up like every week to 2 weeks, and I'm like, at the same point, like too, mine fills up probably like in about a week to week and a half after I clear it, and it kind of people are like, we should get more vault space. I honestly think the biggest issue, and some of that issue is kind of being changed with when we get to TWAB. We'll talk about a little bit too. One, we get almost too much loot, I guess.
You get a lot of
Almost.
it.
Like that's kind of like a weird thing to like complain about because we're playing like a looter shooter, but like there's times where you're always getting two or three you'll get two or three blues and you get a legendary, and then if you're somebody like me who's running dim with farming mode, I mean all that shit just goes to my vault. So like I can't even like really dismantle it once I'm full. Like it just goes to my vault. Then I have to go to my vault and like dismantle everything. Um, I don't know. Do you think 500 is good, or do you think they should increase the
Well, I just don't see any harm in increasing it. I think the people that don't have a problem are only people that are running one character.
yeah.
And people that run three characters end up getting way too much stuff. Also, there's personalities out there that are just hoarders, right? Like they hoard everything.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Uh,
and they're typically like, and I do have like a lot of certain guns like that. If I have like a good roll with, like, I might want to just like use because you don't know what's gonna get buffed and not buffed. Um, limited vault space. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen.
yeah, I
Um,
don't see a reason why they couldn't just buff up the vault space to like
so yeah,
9,000 or something.
9,000.
What?
Now the only issue is I don't know how true this is. I guess somebody when I was on Twitter was saying that Bungie's already said that they won't increase vault space. And that's because the PS4 and the Xbox One couldn't handle the increase. I don't know how true that is.
Well, I mean, they can barely handle loading menus, so
So, it's over 9,000. Ah, I got that joke.
you mean
Probably.
8,000?
Oh, 8,000?
No, I'm
That's what you
kidding.
said
But the
that.
joke is like 9,000, but it was
No,
8,000 in the redub. So
so I don't know.
don't talk about
But
Dragon Ball Z to me because I'll nerd the fuck out.
I thought he was making a streamer joke because there's a streamer that's like probably over 9,000. So that's what.
Dragon Ball
I
Z,
know
bro. Know your Dragon Ball.
I figured he was talking about one of his favorite streamers.
Cell Saga is
But,
best saga. Yes, you're right.
so yeah, I saw this was like a hot topic on Twitter, and I was like, honestly, I think this is something that kind of needs to be addressed because it is kind of an issue. Like, I understand like there's like hoarding issues and like people need to like dismantle stuff, but we'll kind of like almost fast forward. Obviously now with how Armor 2.0 is at the current state. You kind of have to hoard, and especially if you're running 3 characters and you're kind of like a hardcore player, like you kind of have to hoard your armor because, like, one, there's 3 different elements. Now, I have not messed around with these new season mods. I feel like these seasonal mods were kind of pointless. I
For
don't
this
know if you
season, yes,
messed
they were absolutely pointless. I've
So
tried it. You get a little
I
bit
don't
of a
know.
buff here and there for like you can have it so that you can have a charge of light and then do extra damage. But once you kill an enemy, that charge of light will go away. And that's kind of the only one that you really need to use, anyways.
So, and like, if you're running like certain raids, or if you want to have like your raid armor on, so like you can get the buff for the raids, or like the certain season undying mods, like, I mean, that's all like different armor sets. So like, if you're trying to have like, okay, well, I'm doing this activity, so I want this. If you have the Dreambane armor, so you have the Dreambane mods. If you're doing the nightmares, like, there's a lot of reason why you have to like hang on to certain armors. And I mean, what, there's 5 different armor pieces. So for a full set, it'd be 5. So if you had one of each element, so right there's 15. So now you're talking on 3 characters. I mean, right there's already 45 spots in your vault. I mean, that's going hardcore. I understand. Like, there's not a lot of people that are like, oh, I don't need
I
to
barely
have.
pay attention to elemental affinities.
Yeah. So that's changing. So thank God. Um, but yeah, I mean, and that's if somebody's really going that hardcore into it, and like, I mean, as I said, I mean, you're always constantly getting. There's so much loot that you get from every activity now, to where like, if you're not paying attention and you just throw everything in the vault, like, yeah, you kind of have to delete. So I would like to kind of see some type of increase at some point. I don't expect it to be this next season, but I would hopefully see some type of change, increase,
Mm-hmm.
with the next expansion that we'll probably be receiving in the fall.
All right. So you said you want to do TWAB next, right? And then
Yeah, let's do TWAB, then we'll
okay,
do our predictions. Just because one of my kind of predictions
came
was
true.
actually, yeah, answered today.
So this week at Bungie, we had to fix the timeline again. Sometimes when you kill a bug, it doesn't say dead. Earlier this week, deploying hotfix 2.7.1.1, a small number of servers failed to restart with a proper configuration file. This reintroduced the previous issue that caused some players to lose currency. We had to reset the clock again and roll back character data to ensure that no one's hard-earned currencies were lost. To give you some details from behind the scenes, posted a recap of why this issue reemerged. Player support has more info below on the hotfix 2.7.1.2 going live this morning and how it has put the bug to bed for good. So that's good.
Yeah, that is to answer Robert's your question. Yeah, I think the whole shader space in our inventory needs to be reworked as well.
Yeah.
Either it should be like, even if it was like, because I think it's like legendary charge to pull out shaders. So even if like once you had that shader unlocked, it was always unlocked, and you had infinite amount, and it just went to your collection. So like if you went to like change your shader on an armor piece, like charges glimmer for it, and then just get rid of that inventory slot for shaders. Because yes, I do kind of agree that that needs to be changed, because there's a lot of times where if I'm changing my color of my character and stuff, and I have to go to collections and find it, then re-buy it, then re-put it on. So I do agree that does need some adjustment. Okay.
Yeah, alright. So next up, they say here, to invest or to donate? That is the question the community has been pondering ever
Invest.
since the Imperium Foundation event began last week. Many in the community are recommending that players keep investing in Obelisk, but we're seeing a steady rise in donations, as players have already hit Stage 5. We've also received reports from Spider that this Economic stimulus has been great for his business. Here's a look at the current Fractaline
I
donation
like how they
tracking.
brought that up. That's funny.
uh,
It's gonna be real funny if one of, like, say Destiny 3 or one of the next expansions, like he becomes like one of our enemies. Like we have to actually like go and fight
he's
his
a
team
mob boss,
because we've just kind of like we just have funded his operation
right?
and now he has all this money to go out and get like an army to attack
Pretty
us.
much like take over the Tangled Shore for good. Like,
Yeah, that would be
yeah,
funny.
I wouldn't surprise me, man.
That would be that because I think that would be a really cool backstory too. Like be like, oh shit, we caused this war.
Yeah. So here's a look at the current Fractaline donation tracking as the New Pacific. As you can see, there's a gigantic increase between February 12th and February 13th.
Yes.
Billions of Fractaline have been donated, but you have billions more to go to reach Stage 7 and unlock the final triumph for the Savior Seal. We're going to hit that regardless, I believe.
Yeah, I
There's
don't
just so
think
many
this
people that
is.
are already like investing and donating. So
Yeah. Since they made that kind of like a triumph to like unlock it, like I don't think it was going to be something that we would fail. Unfortunately, that's the one thing I didn't really like about like this whole like community event, but I did like the fact that they did make this community event because it's been kind of cool. It's like we talk about it a lot in our Discord. Seen other Guardians talk about it on Twitter and Reddit. Have been cool. All right.
where was I? So an affinity for you. When we introduced Armor 2.0 in Shadowkeep last fall, we got a lot of feedback on the new armor system, specifically pertaining to the elemental affinities. Many of you have been asking for the ability to change elemental affinity types on armor. We'll be adding that ability to do this starting next season. You'll soon be able to change the elemental. You'll soon be able to change the elemental affinity on any piece of armor on either of the two affinity types directly on the item's inspection screen by hovering your cursor over the armor's energy icon. This is intended to mitigate the experience of getting an armor drop with a stat roll you want but the wrong elemental affinity. Changing an armor affinity type will cost you one upgrade module. If your armor is already upgraded to a higher energy level, the cost will be the total upgrade materials necessary to reach that energy value plus one upgrade module.
So, now that was one of the changes I've wanted because like there's like I have really good rolls. Basically, the only armor piece I really wanted this to be changed on is gauntlets because gauntlets affects like what has reload speed.
Really?
So,
Oh yeah.
so I'm like, if I want to run certain different like loadouts, like I then have to like find other armor pieces that are high stats but are that elemental for me to run like hand cannons and something, or if I then want to swap over to playing with like a pulse rifle, now I have to then always have multiple armor pieces on me because I'm trying to run different loadouts. So that kind of eliminates everything. So I'm super happy about that.
Alright, so seasonal mods. We also received a lot of suggestions on how to improve seasonal mods. Starting next season, the seasonal armor mod socket, for example, Undying mods, Dawn mods, will also be able to be used. We'll also be able to use mods released during the seasons before and after the armor piece was released. So, for example, armor with a mod socket from Season of Dawn can now equip Dawn mods and Dying mods in from Season of Undying and future seasons. That was probably my biggest gripe. Is that?
Yeah, we talked about that like a while ago. I think
Yeah.
right after this season launched when we kind of brought that topic up, and it was really interesting that these two changes have actually been made, are going to be made, and that are being talked about on TWAB because that was like the big post on Reddit was seasonal mods and just general 2.0 on how to like improve it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really interesting.
So yes, Iron Banner. As Crimson Days comes to a close, Lord Saladin will arrive just in time to fill the hole.
Missed it.
What?
I missed Iron Banner.
Oh, you mean you didn't play it last time?
No, it just seems like it's been forever since we haven't had Iron Banner.
Oh, okay, you're just joking around. Let me get back to the web page. Okay. Let's see. I fill the hole of less decorated tower. Red flowers will be replaced with the burning shield. Blah 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 blah. Iron Banner and Valor bonus start 9 a.m. Pacific on February 18th and ends February 25th. So I'll be finishing off my armor. I think for my warlock. It's the only one I need left.
Warlock. Masterclass.
So Groundhog Day, player support. The hotfixes are rolling back the accounts. They're just talking more about what they had to do to roll back the accounts. From Crimson Bond, Crimson Day, blah, 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 the event will end, weekly reset. Yeah, there's not a whole lot here that you already know about. Known issues. While we continue to investigate various known issues, here's a list of the latest issues we reported to us in our help forum. Players who completed quests or lost progress, gear, or weapons between 8:30 and 10:30 a.m. Pacific on February 11th will have to complete and earn them again. Yeah, we already know that. Fire the Crimson Days emblem can't be accepted if you are. Yeah, I already know that. Unearned unclaimed Crimson Day triumphs will be removed from the Crimson Days when Crimson Days ends, and you won't be able to be claimed afterwards. So make sure you claim that. Thank you, American Noob, for the follow. Players having trouble collecting their undeterred sparrows will need to make room for their sparrows and consumable inventory to receive them. This is basically just like make room in your inventory in order to pick up the shit.
Well, let us put items in our inventory into our vault. Can't be.
I mean, you can put sparrows into your vault. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you can. Yes.
So that's it for the TWAB.
Oh, movies of the week.
We usually don't go over the movies of the week, but did you want to?
No, but no. Well, I mean, Fallout. He took a 9-year-old, the legend.
Nice.
So, and yeah, I think that's it. Then yeah, he just talks about that everyone should be getting their last seal soon, depending on how the community is.
All right. So predictions for the next season. Do you want to go ahead first?
We can kind of rotate. I'll let you go first. Other than that, we know Trials is coming back, so.
Yeah, Trials is coming back. There's going to be a PvP focus. That's my belief. I think the biggest question is if there's going to be a raid or not next season.
I don't think there will be.
See,
my prediction is what they're going, because they're already kind of complaining about space, I guess, in terms of like consoles. Which is kind of odd. I think what they'll do is they're going to do a weekly rotation for raids, and they're going to bring all raids up to current power to 9, at least recommended 940 or 950.
Yeah, kind of like what they did with D1 where they had the raid rotations.
Yep. And I
can
think
see that happening. Yeah.
And I think you'll still be able to run every raid like you get like you'll get like powerful drops like you are now.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to get the pinnacle gear, you can only get it once, and it has to be on like whatever raid is. Like so, like 1 week it's Leviathan, next week it's Eater, Spire, and so on.
Yeah. I can see that happening for sure. If they don't do a raid this season, I don't think they're going to do a raid until the next content drop.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a bit of a bummer.
So, but who knows? I mean, if we're going to get a good sized chunk of content, I would rather see another Forsaken, Taken King size expansion come in the fall instead of another Rise of Iron, Shadow Keep size.
Yeah, for
So,
sure. Absolutely. I'm
like for
with you on
10
that.
bucks, you
Yeah.
know, like I feel like Season of Dying was bad, but it came with Shadow Keep. Um, I feel like this season's been fairly good. Like I've been pretty pleased with it. I mean, there's definitely been some kind of like questionable things that they've done quarters of time, like that they've messed up on, but like the story missions that we've gotten have been really good. You know, I mean, I've still been playing, so I can't really complain. Devil's Ruin was a super short quest, but like that dialogue in Devil's Ruin mission was super cool.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's all going to be about PvP for next season. There might be a couple quests for exotics or something. That'll be single player, like a quest. Um, I think they're gonna make trials more accessible to regular people. Like not like you don't have to. Well, there'll be goals for things for people that do go flawless, but there'll be stuff there for people that can't or don't go flawless as well.
their best bet for kind of I'll make my prediction with trials is um what's gonna happen is it's gonna be non-matchmaking, so you're gonna have to find a to go in and do it. It's going to be card-based matchmaking. Um, and then they are going to have bounties. And the bounties will then also allow you to get the weapons or the armor. You alright there, Kane?
I'm just muting myself because my throat hurts and I'm coughing.
Um, but I think that if you go flawless, then your weapons will be adept like they were in D1, which will have like a little bit better perks, stats. And then I feel like your armor will also be adept, which will be higher stats. I think the armor dropping from bounties should probably be like mid 50s. At highest, I wouldn't even have them touch 60. Then anything adept is 60 and above, and
Mm-hmm.
also be masterworked.
Yeah, that'd be
My
cool.
predictions for trials.
Um, what was I was thinking of something, but I forgot what it was. Um,
Trials based?
sorry, what?
Was it trials based?
Yeah, I think I was going to talk about something about trial space, but I don't remember what it was. Do you think it's okay? So we have Easter for the next one, so we'll have the revelry
Yep.
during then. And I'll just be like kind of like what Crimson Days is. I think it's probably going to be just 1 week. Um, yeah, it's kind of hard to think about what it's going to be. Do you think new game modes maybe? Like other than trials?
I'm sure we'll probably get some type of like
Oh, I remember what I wanted to talk about. But go ahead.
we'll probably get like some type of like sundial undying type 6 player activity like we
Oh man.
always do. I
Yeah.
you know, and somehow like and that will be like kind of like the PvE focused, I guess. And like we'll probably have like story missions to like unlock that and
Like
like
some
there'll be
half
some
baked
type
like horde mode that they always have.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now they might just come out and fucking surprise us and be like I personally I don't think we'll get if we're gonna get any type of like new in-game activity for PvE. I think it will be something very similar to like a Prison of Elders type, and I would be completely okay with that.
Yeah,
Make
that'd
it
be
three
fine.
three Guardians wise, like
Yeah.
'cause I feel like that's easier to make than a full 6-man raid with a bunch of different mechanics
Yeah.
and just a bunch of other stuff.
I'd be fine with that.
I don't think we're gonna get that, but if we would get any type of PvE in game, would be like a 3-man type horde. Nope.
Maybe they'll do something like they did with Season of Drifter, where like there's like a every week there's a new quest or something, and once you finish that quest, you meet with whatever's at the end there. like they did
Because
with the what's her name? I can't remember her name.
Ada?
The the the, the person that you talked to at the Trials in the Nine. The emissary. The
Oh,
emissary.
yeah, I can't remember what her name
Maybe
is.
they'll have something like that where you'll talk to a Cyrus or Saint or something.
Let me answer Robert's questions. How do you feel about carries through trials? Like it. I'm pretty sure that's actually like against TOS. I could be wrong.
It's supposed to be, but I don't think it. Like, there's always going to be this black market crap for games like
Yeah.
this. Like,
Um,
I'm not a fan of
especially,
it.
I mean, especially you can go like on any streaming platform, and there's going to be a content creator who's going to be doing some type of carries for basically, if anything, a follow, and that's all you have to do is just follow them, and then that's what they'll do.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah,
I
I
wouldn't be
mean,
a fan.
it's still big. I'm not a fan of it just because there's so many content creators that will do it for
I mean,
free. Like,
there's people that pay to get like not forgotten. You know, like
yeah, no, and so
yeah.
it's always gonna be a thing.
But
I don't
my
like it,
what I
but
was thinking was, some people are like, if you go on the forums and all that, there's like, oh, PvP is not ready for trials, the meta's not there, but and there's like a lot of complaints that I hear from people, especially in our clan, is like, oh, shoulder charges need to be getting rid of, or so stuff like that. But I think there's like a huge diverse way to play nowadays. Like sidearms are competent.
there, and that's the thing. Like, even if you would really go back, there's probably the perfect meta Destiny has ever seen, ever, was probably at the launch of D2. Everything was completely balanced, but PvP was completely boring.
Yeah, it's pretty boring. Yeah, there was no
Um,
way you could encounter if you got 2v1, you were done.
uh, but there was no like the weapons itself in general. Like there was nothing that was like this gun is just absolutely super overpowering. Like there is now, like with certain weapons, or like certain abilities, like handheld supernova, hunter throwing knife, shoulder charge now, because shoulder charge back then wasn't a thing.
Hmm.
So there was no one hit melees,
Was there
no one
even
hit
roaming
grenades.
supers? I don't think.
Yeah,
Oh,
there was roaming
yeah,
supers.
yeah. Well, at the end, I mean, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, Jason, like you, that's last word and NEOP are the same weapon slot.
So, but and then even if you go back to like D1, like the metas were always kind of bad. Like there was always big time issues. I remember there were a period of time in trials when you had self-resing warlocks who could like literally break trials. And it was like you would self-res, and then I believe you would like kill yourself right away, and then the game would never end. So which then would either be like a face-off between two teams on who wanted to wait. So if
Hmm.
you want to spend, 2 hours waiting, because obviously if the dude that's doing that probably gonna wait and it just kind of depends on who wants to leave.
Yeah, I
But
think I think
going,
the PvP is in a good place right now because the most broken stuff that they had over the last year have been pretty much fixed. Like
oh,
all the Titan stuff, like the overshield with the roaming super that would like wouldn't end. Like that's kind of been fixed. They just fixed the one for the warlock, but
yeah.
that involved a macro like really hacky stuff. Um,
So, but as I do agree, there's definitely a lot of broken things that like I want to see change, but like there's so many different types of loadouts that you can use now in Destiny 2 than compare like if you were using a certain that meta in D1 you were screwed. Now there's so many different types of now are certain metas and loadouts a little bit better than another one. Yes, but they're still like, usable. But back in D1 they weren't like at one point like you couldn't use sidearms, and the only thing that made sidearms usable is when they took away special ammo from shotguns and snipers, and the only thing that would spawn in and infusion rifles, and the only thing that spawned in with special ammo was sidearms, and that was the only reason people used sidearms because you had special ammo.
Yeah, and especially animal economy is a little bit broken, I guess, if you're good. Like you can go a whole match without using your primary.
Yeah.
But that's like for the top tier people, and I don't know. I guess you should be rewarded for that. I guess I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, I do agree with you. Like that is kind of like the one thing like I'm always seeing on Twitter, mainly on Twitter. I don't really see it too much on Reddit. Maybe I don't just pay attention to it, but everybody's complaining about, you know, we want trials back and like look at all this. And I was like, there's always been these things like back to day one of Destiny.
There's a.
Like
I just noticed that there's a lot of complaints about a lot of different stuff,
so,
and so
but that's the thing, just because there's so many different that are usable
and
back
so many
then. Like
things that are good. Yeah.
compared to like back then, if you weren't using Thorn or Last Word back in year one, Destiny 1, like you screwed. There
Mm.
was there for a little bit with Suros, and they nerfed Suros. Believe they had to do like an emergency nerf on Vex Mythoclast, because that was like Telesto broken, like it
Yeah.
was.
Well, it's less always breaks the game. So.
Um, but then it took like Hawkmoon was fairly good for a while, but then they took away because Hawkmoon used to be able to one shot people.
It was really random though, right?
Yeah, yeah. It had to be both bullets in the chambers had to click at the same time.
Hmm.
Um, and
Robert says
then
that there was a sniper that had infinite ammo.
yeah, that was Icebreaker.
Yeah.
But then you had to like wait for it to charge and stuff, and like people would use Icebreaker if they weren't using. When they took away special ammo for people, either people used Icebreaker, or people used No Land Beyond to like counter that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you weren't a sniper, like you're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but back in D1, like there was a certain meta, and that's like what everybody ran. Now there's like so many different weapons people can use and be good with.
Yeah.
So
Like
that's why
honestly,
so many
this
people.
past season I've been playing way more Hunter because I just find I'm way better with a Hunter. But you see all these people online going, Titans are so broken and blah 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 because they were for a time, but not anymore. Not as broken as they were before. Like
They're still completely broken.
yeah, right. Okay, whatever. That's why I'm playing Hunter in PvP now.
Shorter charge.
That dodge is way too good for me.
I like to dodge. I like the hunters in PvP.
Yeah.
I mean, I like all three classes to be honest. Like I just kind of
I
run
mean,
it.
Roberts, I would just take shotguns out of the game completely, but that's not gonna happen.
Like I said, like the biggest issue for me is handheld Nova, man. Like that, there needs to be. I think
Maybe a
some type
reduce
of-
on the recharge speed, but I think that ability is okay the way it is because that's the only thing they have. Like if you think about it, Nova Warp is completely useless.
True.
That's the only thing they have is that.
I think that mobility. I think they need to turn down. Like they need to be slower than Nade because there's so many warlocks, man. They just kind of. I've seen just zooming around the map, holding that thing, and then just bop up. You're dead.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, Nova Warp is kind of pointless now.
So speaking of getting rid of guns in games, we had some questions here. Everdope asks us, Bungie announced some major changes to sword mechanics last week. What other major overhauls would you like to see in other aspects, whether weapon type or maybe class ability? And then Hidden kind of goes in with them, says, should they retire weapons? Do you think we'll be happy with trials or will it be a letdown? We kind of answered that last one. So yeah, what other kind of overhaul to weapons or like weapon changes would you like to see?
Trying to think, because it's so tough at this. I do feel like everything is kind of like in a good spot, like in terms of like, for the most part, everything is kind of like usable. I would like to kind of have, and it's not really like one weapon type or anything, but I would actually like to kind of see like exotics weapons feel exotic in Crucible.
Right.
PvE, I think there's definitely a lot of good exotic weapons, but like PvP wise, like I mean, I guess you got Thorn, Last Word, but I suck with Last Word. Then other than that, like what other like exotic weapon have you been seeing people
Well,
like
Lord of
use?
Wolves.
Oh yeah, but that's just Lord of Wolves needs to be nerfed like that. I think it needs to have the kill for stuff, but people use that because it's like an easy one-hit kill.
Um, I think the exotic rocket launchers are pretty good the way they are. Like Truth is does fine. Same with Death Singer. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I was gonna say maybe like something to do with in PvE for rocket launchers, just in general, because no one ever uses them anymore. Because grenade launchers overtook that spot.
Yeah, and that's where like I kind of keep the issue with rocket launchers is like with it only having one rocket.
Yeah,
Like if it had multiple rockets, like then it would be a different thing. Like if they ever brought back
that's why
Gallahorn.
Truth feels pretty exotic because it has three in the chamber.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's
but in
nuts.
terms, I don't think does it really even do a whole lot of DPS.
Oh, no, it's only like a PvP thing, but
Yeah.
still, like that's an exotic thing.
So, but and then obviously like kind of you can't. I don't know if you can weapon.
I think Roberts
Like
wants Gallahorn back.
yeah, I think we all want Gallahorn back. And it's like what is it? What's that? What's a seasonal rocket?
Apparently, it's
Seasonal.
not Gallahorn. He said there was one that did big napalm area of effect thing.
Oh, that is Dragon's Breath.
Okay.
Um, what is the seasonal rocket? Se season.
For what?
'Cause it has the season because there's a skin for it
This
at the
season?
very
Oh,
end.
Pyroclast them?
Yes, and like the season, like the ornament for the rocket launcher, like makes it look kind of like a Gallahorn. You're laughing, but I'm
Dude, what
not
if
wrong.
Gallahorn comes back?
I've been saying Gallahorn's gonna come back, so
Next season,
especially
Gallahorn. They keep teasing it, man.
so yeah. I mean, and it's the season of the worthy or really worthy enough to hold such a wonderful weapon. But yeah, I don't think you can really retire weapons at this point. I don't think that would go over too well. Um, I do think the sword changes were kind of interesting. I think it was something definitely needed because nobody really runs swords.
Mm.
Um,
Well, I already talked
uh,
about, I think, maybe one or two episodes ago that my whole Aldrin theory when we learned the name of the season.
you
So
think Ultra will be returning this season?
that'll be my one big bold prediction is we'll see Aldrin
Yeah,
in
I
the
like it.
tower.
I think that could happen, man. Like,
Well, there'll be two missions, kind of like they did with Saint. One is like you go find Aldrin. Second is you
so
help him do something
yeah,
to prove his
yeah.
worth, and then he'll be in the tower.
I could see it, and that he'll be the Hunter Vanguard. I could actually do that. I don't know if I really have a bold prediction for this season, man. Like, there's so much stuff that could go like up, like, because at one point, like, I could see them doing a raid, but like,
I don't think so.
I just don't see it like for
Since
$10 content.
when I think
But
about it now, how they said they content's going to be coming and going. If they introduce a raid, that would have people asking questions. Hey, is this going to stay or are they going to get rid of it? And
yeah,
to me, you can't get rid of a raid. That's not temporary content.
no.
No. See you, Roberts. All right. I think we're at the end of the show here. Unless you have anything else you want to say.
I'm trying to think of because we said trials, no raid. I figured really no in-game PvE content. I don't think with this season. My armor theory was already in today with 2.0.
Yeah.
How many exotics do you think we'll get?
Two.
I think two. I think we'll get three exotics, and I think they're gonna change the roadmap a little bit too. I do think we'll actually my bold one prediction for the season is we're going to get a Whisper of the Worm / 0 hour mission.
That'd be nice.
Season.
I would really like to have something like that.
I think that will be something we will receive this season. And it might be for Gallahorn. I'm not predicting Gallahorn.
Dude, that would be the best. That would be the best thing.
But it's gonna be. We will get one of those.
Crap.
I could see it. I think it's one of those missions, and it's gonna bring an exotic weapon from D1 into D2, and that would be a gun. And Icebreaker is another worthy gun.
All right. So Sully, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitch, Mixer, Twitter, and Instagram at Sully_.
And you can find me, your host Thomas, on Twitter, CSG Thomas. Also here at Kane Plays Stuff on Twitch. Also on YouTube. You can check us out at charshot.com for audio, video, written content. And you can email me, thomas@charshot.com. Leave us a review on iTunes, Stitcher, anywhere you get your podcasts. And until then, guys, eyes down, Guardians.